Lives of the Presidents, told in words of one syllable, by Jean S. Remy. Chapter 9. William Henry Harrison. William Henry Harrison was born in Berkeley, Virginia, on February 9th, 1773. His father, Benjamin Harrison, was not a rich man, but lived at ease on a small farm. He was a man of much force in his state, and was at one time its governor. He was a brave, strong man, and taught his small son to be like him. Now, while little William was hard at work at school, he heard much talk of the Indian wars, and his heart was full of longing to fight those cruel foes of the white men. So, though he went to Hampden-Sydney College, he did not stay long, but left to join the army. He was such a brave fighter that, when he was 21, Washington put him in charge of the troops at Fort Washington, just the place where the Indians were strongest and most cruel. Major General Wayne was at the head of the army, and so rash and fearless was he, that his troops called him Mad Anthony. He knew well how to fight the red men, though, and in 1794 beat them in a fierce fight on the spot where the city of Detroit now stands. So brave was young Harrison at this time that he was made a captain. For 6 years Harrison was in the heat of the Indian wars, and learned all the savage ways of war. Then he went home to rest, but was soon sent to Congress. So well did he do his work here, that Indiana now chose him for governor, and here he was so much liked that he kept his seat 3 terms. The hardest task that he had to do while governor was to keep peace with the Indians, and side by side with his name stands that of a great and good Indian chief, Tecumseh. For years these two men tried to help the Indians and teach them to live in peace. But at last the hate of the red men for the whites who were forcing them from their lands ended in a great fight at Tippecanoe, where the Indians lost the battle. So brave had Harrison been in this fight that he was made a general, and in the War of 1812 was put at the head of the army. At the close of the war, the brave old Indian fighter went to live on his farm at South Bend, Indiana, in the then state of Ohio. But he was too great a man to live a quiet life, and was sent to Congress twice, and once abroad in his country's service. Then, in 1836, he ran for president, but did not get the most votes. 4 years later he was put up once more, and he and John Tyler won by a big vote. It was in this race for president that the song was sung whose chorus you hear today, Tippecanoe and Tyler too. On the 4th of March, 1841, William Henry Harrison, the old Indian fighter, now 68 years old, came from years of quiet home life to take up the cares and worries of a president's life. But the task was too much for him, and a month afterward, on April 4th, 1841, the brave old man died. End of Chapter 9. Recording by Greg Giordano. Newport Richey, Florida.